Welcome to a bonus episode for the Let's Get On With It Final Liberation series. Today I am exploring the game's difficulty levels to surmise how my single-player campaign experience could have been different. The game design is user-friendly here. We can freely adjust the difficulty between battles. Not having to restart the campaign is a good design choice, and that makes this exploration of mine feasible without replaying the game. Of course, this experiment will not be simulating how greater orc resilience may have translated into more human casualties, which would have slowed my progression and put me in worse positions. I'll just have to use my imagination. I should re-establish the observations I made during this playthrough regarding 2-star difficulty. It was back in episode 11 that I discovered the orc rubber band. The regional forces are not static. They're static, they're not stagnant, but they are also not independent. We could call them loosely dynamic, with a point score adjusting to my own. That loosely bit is important, though, because the orcs have a ceiling and a floor. There is only so much or so little they have in a region. That was my experience playing through, and I pointed that out after episode 11 as we encountered those moments. If you didn't catch those observations, don't worry. I'll be testing them here as well. Now, the user manual, which we read through in the first bonus episode, has a little bit on game difficulty. Only time it comes up in the manual, page 31. Game difficulty is adjusted by the number of points the AI gets with which to purchase units. A handicap, if you will. That's it. No further labels. Just 1-star, 2-star, and 3 stars. That's all we got. User manuals have certainly been erroneous before, for a slew of reasons I don't have enough game experience to say. Just going off of what we encounter, and perhaps viewer input from those who have more experience playing Final Liberation. Let's get this show on the road. Drag that window there. Alright. Gonna be pretty easy for us to just begin with the first mission of the video game. We'll go with 2-star difficulty to remind ourselves of how the hell this looks. We don't need to see the cutscene.
Commissar.
Oh boy. Thought I was done hearing Commissar.
Commissar. Commissar. Commissar. Commissar. Commissar.
Help. Not like we're shuffling around any of these units anyway. Also, good lord, the volume of that. Oof. I was looking at my volume slider there, like, nah, that's all right? That's the same as it's been throughout the series. Yeah, okay. We don't need to move any of it, though. Yeah. That's how I recall our experience with the first mission. Were these units the exact same? It's difficult to say. Another observation, supported by my trusted friends and viewers, is that the orcs don't deploy. They may not deploy the exact same shit if you loaded and kept going at a mission again. They'll have the points, but what they do with those points... Alright, we got plenty of evil suns out here. There's no war buggies until you get to the way back. Yeah, plenty of evil sun infantry. Okay. What morale score? Pretty close. Let's have a look at that at 1-star difficulty.
Commissar.
Here, we as the human player have a decisive advantage. And as for how the orcs deployed their units, different positions. More in these buildings, which, as we know, can be death traps, right? And nothing out here. We've also got some evil suns lurking in the building in the top left corner, far away from where they could be relevant for this battle. Okay. And then 3-star difficulty.
Sir.
Let's get a sense of how this looks out.
Sir.
Alright, that's not quite double our score, but it is significantly higher. This company of Space Marines that are here to assist Commissar Holt and the Lord Commander Militant with seizing a spaceport after we get an initial foothold, which is what this mission is. They really got their work cut out for them. Of course, you don't have to care about the casualties they sustain because this company doesn't stick with you. Still, though, considering how fragile these Ultramarine scouts are, and just the sheer power of what a bolter can bring to the table, there's a lot of work here. But I don't think this mission itself would... Like, there's no permanent losses we sustain here. This is just how much time you're going to take. Possibly a restart, too. That's a lot of infantry to go through, and you've got a lot of work to do to make it so that their morale score is lower than yours. You know, holding the one objective point there. It's a lot of war buggies to try and take out with these whirlwinds. Good news, though, at least these units aren't green. There is that. Praise the Emperor. That's a neat deployment right there in that trench. All right. Lots of stuff, a lot of fun. Out of curiosity, we'll just let the turn cycle through. You don't suppose they have any air units? Huh? It's just gonna be all this stuff that we see milling about? Notably, we did take that control point with the Thunderhawk. Not all games allow air units to take control of ground points like that. That observation probably came up in the first episode. It's been a month. Started off the armor there. That is certainly some orcs to hunt, and ostensibly, this is the most vulnerable place for us to attempt to grab a foothold for the rest of Volistad's liberation. Okay. But no air units came out to murder me. Alright. Plenty of red dots, though. It's like cement all over again. Now, let's get a great sample of the game actually adjusting difficulty in campaign. This will be easy to test out. I have compiled all of the Let's Get On With It saves that I made. Let's go ahead and load this one. This was after the counterattack. But let's actually sample the counterattack as a refresher course. Should be 480 points. Whether it will comprise of the same stuff, I don't know. Let's see. Or counterattack. The reminder, the attacker gets to go first in this video game. Okay, still 480. That appears to be the same Gargant that they brought to the field last time. I was about to say, a Death Strike, great tank.
Commissar.
Yep, Mech Boy Gargant. So this is what we encountered before, a counterattack. This is the second one we suffered in this playthrough, of 480 points, which is not significant. Yeah, it destroyed one Demolisher over here during the actual playthrough, and at that point, a Demolisher's like, whatever, I don't care. How would that have looked at the first star difficulty? Again, you know, wanting to demonstrate that changing that option does matter during a playthrough.
Commissar.
Here, the Orc counterattack is a mere 180 score. Which, they got some knobs? Would have, incredibly difficult time exerting any sort of power or control over the situation. Yeah, they're Goff knobs. Huh? They actually have range of 20 because they have bolters instead of a bolter pistol combo, while also having a potent close assault score of 4. That's not anything, though. Like, what the hell are we gonna do with that, right? I could load from that screen. It's whatever. Now let's go to 3 stars. What would this orc counterattack represent for us? We're gonna leave everything deployed as it is. What do they have? That is a far more substantive force, but notably still less than half of mine. I think that's also orc anti-air over there. I hadn't seen that vehicle deployed before. It looks like it would be a flak wagon machine doodad. Sam anti-air, whatever. I'll let the turn play out, because otherwise I'd have to close and relaunch the game. And I also want to see whether they have any air units they're going to use. Poor Imperial Guardsmen. The Lord Commander Militant didn't even tell us to entrench, that sick fuck. They do have air units, alright. See, had the air units in the final mission just, oh, I don't know, shot the things that only take 1 hit to kill? Like, my artillery? That would have been far more significant than them shooting at the super heavies and the Titans. Sure, I have some Hydras over there, but we saw how great those were at accuracy even as veterans. Yeah. The orc aircraft in the final mission just could have actually gone after softer and easier targets. Not to say that I wouldn't have won that fight anyway. But yeah, that was a substantive first turn. Of course, I didn't move my units at all from where they were basically deployed. But we have flak wagons. I should actually take a closer look at those. Quad flak guns. Okay, yeah. Move 20. Pin 55, hit 40. Move 20, pin 55, hit 40. Armor values are slightly different. Yep, slightly different. Weighted in favor of the orcs, it looks like. The close assault score? No, it's the same. Alright. Again, it's still odd to see me on the mini-map as red. Yeah. Plenty of them. Uh-oh, Bombard. Get him, Bombard. You got this, buddy. I can't believe you did. That's it. Oh, no. We can't even, like, reach to get into melee combat. Notably, artillery has a minimum range, which lends further credence to the notion of, what if the orcs just got really close to my artillery? Almost like... It's almost like how you would counter that style of unit, and how I anticipated that happening. A combination of quick units and air units. Okay. So, now we've demonstrated orc that changing the difficulty absolutely does make a difference during the course of gameplay. It's just safer for me to come out here. Now let's go to the final mission. We are naturally on our 2-star difficulty here, having just done this fight to end the campaign, and we're fairly close on score. With the orc war boss doubtlessly hiding in here. You're doing good, bud. You're doing good. And this unit composition looks the same. And presumably they have aerial units as well that would come get me. Again, the first time I encountered air units in this entire playthrough. Which, some viewers and trusted friends of mine have found mystifying. Alright. Let's have a look at that on easy difficulty. We select the map. Same things.
Commissar.
Notably lower. Several hundred points lower. The removal appears to be in the pulsar rockets that were back here. Weird Boy Tower is back there instead. We've got a shield up here. Pulsar rockets are still up here. I presume they have the air units as well. Scroll is still in there, as he does. Let's see whether they have the air units. I assume yes. I intend for this episode to be a long ride. I thought about editing this for post-commentary, but heaven forbid there are any unseemly accusations of me cherry-picking intentionally. We'll do it, well, not quite live, I guess. Future Grimith, get on with adding some timestamps. You can do it. I believe in you. This is something I wanted to do on my own anyway. And for folks who are unable or unwilling to play Final Liberation, that will be of value. So they fired some pulsar rockets, but I didn't see fighter craft while I was in the middle of lathering. Huh. Okay.
Commissar.
Definitely sustained some losses. You have to see that reaction fire at work, though. We took down some enemy craft. Got some good shots in. Good work, team. Okay. Now, how does that map look on hard difficulty?
Commissar. Commissar.
The enemy score is slightly adjusted upward from medium difficulty, but we're still pretty damn close. You know, this is the sort of value that I'd say, well, falls within the parameters of 2-star. Feels like missed opportunities for these constructions to not become operational, or for some orcs to come returning riding in for glory. That's just not how the video game is designed, though, given what the game design intention is. You know, as confirmed by my own understandings, and by trusted friends, and by reviews of the game itself from the time, wanting to adhere to, the war game, which means that we can't have these contraptions coming to life or weapons from the Space Hulk itself shooting down at us. That's just my brain on other strategic campaign design instead of what Final Liberation is bringing to the table. Definitely aircraft. What I'm pondering and don't have any evidence for is whether the game difficulty toggle makes the orcs more likely to pick more dangerous units. Not factoring in, like, they're like, oh, I have more points, so I can spend it, but just that they would be weighted towards, say, flooding you with something more than Goths. I don't think this video is going to obtain an answer for that, let alone a definitive answer. This counterattacking that my units are doing is going pretty alright. Good work, team. I'm leaving Russ ditched. Lehman Russ ditched me. Just due to suppression put on the unit, even though the other two tanks are still intact. Wow. With a commissar on the board. Well. We didn't move the commissar in. Until we got, like... Yeah. Okay. That must be what happened there. No other possibility exists. Okay. Now, since I have the final mission there, something I do want to take a look at before I make the attack is, let's test out some other things. Okay. We got a Baneblade here, Wonder Bubbles, transfer, 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 transfer. Go get him, Baneblade. As you can see here, the 2-star difficulty does not go down so low as to reach this point value. This Baneblade is not going to be capable of winning this fight if for no other reason than these objective points are really far. And I'm losing 50 score per turn, and getting an angle on the infantry in here is going to be... I don't want to say impossible. We'll say nigh impossible. Yeah. Of course, that's just the final mission, but this is also true for other maps, where you'll bring a score that's so low, the orcs ain't going down there. Something I am interested in seeing, though, since I am here and considering it, is where that minimum score would be for the other difficulty levels. So, let's kick the kids out. Baneblade! Baneblade 1 star! I could have made a separate save. Oh well. Now this... So it's still higher than me. But, that's a pretty sad map, huh? I'd still have a real hard time winning this with how the objective points are. And also, perhaps, because War Boss Scroll could run up on this damn Baneblade. It'd be anyone's game with that close assault score. And then... we'll check everything except for the Baneblade! And we'll put the game on 3-star difficulty. Yeah, hard difficulty is not here for this this slow rolling shit. like, oh, you're sending what's that? 210 scar? Uh-huh. Yeah, well, how about shouldn't have played on this difficulty level, asshole. Go fuck yourself. Good. 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 Okay. Now, of course, we did that rolling. But it's notable that I hadn't made the final adjustments to this regiment. This isn't like the regiment that I attacked with. Because it doesn't have the Titans in it. It doesn't have the Commissar in it, you know, because the Commissar is a big fucking deal. So let me see if I can remember how I constructed that real quick. You go to transfer. You go to transfer. You go to transfer. You're out of here. Commissar comes in. BANEBLADE can't go in here. The anti-air comes in here. This doesn't matter. And we don't do that. We access the transfer list. We put in this. And we add the BANEBLADE! And we also add the Warhound Scout. What a... Yeah, that seems pretty alright. And then on top of that, why don't we, just for the hell of it, what's the thing I'm most inclined to just pitch into the ether? Basilisk Battery, sure. We'll say remove. And, you know, we'll add some extra score. This Land Raider Squadron, welcome aboard. Looks great. It's here to transport. It's got laser cannons. It's got tank bolters. It only has one hit. Ugh. Okay. Difficulty, 3 stars, or this was just a waste of my time.
Commissar.
Here we go. Here's the heavy stuff.
Commissar.
And, this game stays at, or at least this map on hard stays at 2800. So here, even on the 3rd difficulty, what I've got vastly overpowers our Space Hulk defense. So, we were actually seeing the ceiling earlier. And now we have vastly eclipsed it in points. Scroll's fucked. But, again, this experiment does not simulate how greater orc resilience may have translated into more human casualties, which would have slowed my progression and put me in worse positions. Just having to use my imagination here. Man, those pulsar rockets right there and those huge unit clumps, that works pretty alright. Imagine their aircraft also shooting something besides the Super Heavies and Titans. What a time to be alive. Good job, Death Strike. So, I think I've sampled everything that I want to sample on 1-star difficulty for this recording. I'm glad I put this at 2 stars. I'm also glad I didn't adjust to 3 stars. You know, before episode 11, I didn't know about the rubber banding that would happen. And also, I had in mind still what happened to me in the tutorial before I started the series. And I had in mind what the user manual taught me, or what it conveyed. And after that point, it's just a matter of, if I adjusted the difficulty and I saw greater hardship, I wouldn't know for sure whether it was because I had gotten further into the game and more time passed. It would make my exploration and observations look wonky. My first playthrough of Final Liberation was not also intended to be a, Grimith punches himself in the dick. Instead, I'm willing to have the orcs punch me in the dick, if they can. Okay. And from here, though, certainly morale score is lost. They lost a solid chunk of it too, and that's with me not having moved a single thing. Okay. So, I want to try and... I want to see whether the orcs will throw more intricate and complicated units at me earlier in the campaign from the save files. We have Weird Boy Towers, we have the flak wagons, we of course have orc aircraft. And though I didn't make use of aircraft, and so, although user manual's like, hey, air units are great, but eventually the orcs are going to deal with that. Like, orc aircraft very much would have put pressure on me, just like pulsar rockets would have put pressure on me, would have changed the texture of the playthrough. And so I just want to see, like, what the fuck they would have done, you know? So, this is back in ye olden times, right after we had just taken the first region. What the hell's here at the spaceport?
Commissar.
Normal difficulty was 580 to 500, and see, looking at this map, it's like, okay, I gotta go forward. I gotta get pressure. I lost 2 chimeras here, and, you know, back in those times, and now I'm really just leaning into some of what I want to convey in the Final Thoughts episode. I gotta get fucking moving. Like, this is out here in the open. I'm losing 50 morale score a turn. Like, I gotta reach out and take that. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Look at them all there. We should have seen more war buggies. Like, these are... They have a fucking autocannon on them with close assault, too. And their move speed of 24. Their price is only 40. This... Oh, well. Lamentation. Let's up the difficulty to 3 stars here and have a look at the spaceport fight now. Whew. Oh, yeah. So, what I'm getting the sense of is that for our 3-star difficulty, your floor's higher, your ceiling's higher, and the orc, loose dynamism, just dynamic, will play around in that area, but you can still fail to meet that floor or eclipse that ceiling. And in a situation like this, where we aren't able to recruit at all, we're staring at this point differential with needing to rush and take these points, and how many of these units are dead, right? We're losing 50 morale score a turn. That's out there in the open. We have a distance to go. Our Chimera's got to get a move on. Actually, I'd be using the Rhino for more than just hauling the Commissar. There's real work involved here. Whew. And, yeah. Reflecting back on using my imagination for how greater orc resilience may have translated into more human casualties, do I get out of this with only just losing the 2 Chimeras? Okay. While I am reflecting on that, though, let me flip back here. So, this was before I attacked this region with the 9th Basilisk Volistad Iron Lords. We're, of course, on our 2 stars. And if we look at the map, we can see that the score is similar. I eclipsed by a few hundred points. No. Let's try that now on hard difficulty. I'm narrowing my eyes. I did select that to be 3 stars, right? Right? I didn't imagine that, right? Just want to check to confirm.
Sir.
Okay. Looking at all the points they have arrayed, I don't know whether they are going to have air units in here, but I would like to see. Humor me, AI. All of the reaction fire we're getting on these Goths, trying to close the distance. This is what it would have been like to have units deployed up here in the north for doing this battle. I thought that was a dumb idea at the time. I stand by that. Fighting up there just seems like a nightmare. Where are the cannon speedsters? Looks like the orcs may have put more points into these adorable fucking stompas. Okay. There we go. No, my demolisher! So, this looks like another example of, yeah, now that I'm already established, I got this under control. The Orc 3-star difficulty did not scale out of its fucking mind. Just like the Orc Counterattack on 3 stars also did not scale out of its fucking mind. Though significantly higher than the 2-star Counterattack. You know, actually a meaningful expenditure of time to bleed resources off of me. Instead of, oh, I hope Grimith doesn't just yawn at it and, lose things because he's yawning. Okay. 38 minutes in, I got some more time. Now that we've taken a look at that, let's go over here. This is, where after we just taken the spaceport, and we're just about to make moves out here into the world. And if we can pull up episode 3 then. And it looks like between episodes 2 and 3, there was probably a just-in-case save there. But I can pass the turn right here. Because I want to get a sense of what this looks like. Need to remind myself. Oh yeah, this map. Man, this was a time. All these vision-blocking buildings here. I rolled the Lehman Russes up. Had some infantry, of course. Fun shenanigans. We actually saw some enemy armor with these lungbursters. And comparative score. This is stuff we'd seen before. Let's go down to episode 2. Pass the turn. Don't need that. Take the difficulty up to 3 and make that attack again. Okay. That is a notably higher score. Definitely not beyond the realm of possibility for me. Especially now that I have the playthrough under my belt. I feel confident that I could reach out and... like, they're Goths still, no matter what. The war buggies. That's meaningful, but they're also really far from where I deployed. And they don't have convenient road access. Though you could imagine a world in which they crept up. Like, Like, this unit is legit, like one of the units that I'm like, I don't want to see that. And the fact that we didn't see that many of them after the early game is great as far as I'm concerned, but also a bummer. Because I think they're dangerous. You take this, you put an autocannon on it, and you send it off. Like, that move with a close assault score, I don't want that anywhere near me. I don't want it near my infantry. I don't want it near my APCs. I don't want it near my artillery. And I don't really want it near my Lehman Russes either. It's the same close assault score. I'm good. Hard pass, especially these units being green as well, because this is the first fight that they're in. Oh. Let's see how this turn plays out. You know, eyeballing this, I'm not sure whether this is a 1080 score. Good job, green artillery. Chimeras get some shots in as the Goths get closer. Still, you would need to press on that first capture point to start bleeding morale off of the enemy. Uh-huh. Okay. Game's like 3 stars, huh? That probably means you know what you're doing, bud. That's great. I'm glad you know what you're doing. I've already bought all the basics that I need. Why don't we splurge a little? Let me fucking tell you, there is no reality in which I would have been ready for that. How do we deal with that, you think, with this regiment? We hope the fighters get close enough that we can take shots at them with the heavy weapons who are green right now, and we hope we hit them. What I think I'm seeing here is that with foreknowledge, I might not go this way immediately. We just gotta roll north. Yeah, we gotta roll north. Like, I'm just looking around the map for possible cover to try and lure the aircraft to get close enough for my units to shoot up into the sky. And, you know, hit. Yeah, like the war buggies, I'm concerned about. The Goths, I'm like, whatever. The lung bursters, sure. The aircraft? That's a hard no. The 2-star orcs, they should have brought that in sooner. I shouldn't have needed to go all the way to the final mission to see that shit. Okay. That's great research. That's why I wanted to do this research. Cool. Moments like that. Let's see what happens with Holt's regiment and the other direction, shall we?
Commissar. Sir.
So, the tutorial map. Yeah, these Balbernas up here, of course, have units lurking in the buildings, as they do. Good times being on this map, I remember. Oh, those were the days. Okay, but still within the realm of possibility. Let's make sure we adjust the difficulty to 3 stars. Get up there. Yeah. So another circumstance where we're encountering a floor that is significantly higher than us. More than double here. Now, do they have any aircraft? Out of curiosity? Let this play out. Could just be a lot more stuff that I wouldn't have a hope of seeing here on the start of this turn. But I know how much score that infantry is worth, and that does not make 1100. I'm getting the impression from this research, though, that, I mean, it's not a wild, bold declaration. Because... Alright, let me actually finish the thought. Had I made a difficulty adjustment during the campaign, we wouldn't have had all the turns of me being at 3 stars. All the extra turns of me encountering greater orc resilience, translating into more human casualties, which would have slowed my progression and put me in worse positions. So I would have been in a better situation, and we've seen, like, where 3 stars goes here in the early and in the late. So I definitely would have been better equipped to make that adjustment. But starting at 3 stars? Even having gone through a full playthrough and knowing what I know now, we're signing up for some real effort. And it's... I would wager the AI design itself hasn't changed. We're just seeing more because there's more points. And that's, like... That's initially, like a blah concept. Like, oh, great, just more. It just means, but if they still do the same dumb shit. But seeing more diverse units, that's compelling. Like, that's interesting, right? To actually see, like, the fighters there. When we did, instead of the final mission. I say fighters. And they're labeled as fighter bombers. Okay. Let's go to this reality now. 48 minutes in. We'll have this test, this bonus episode, go a smidge longer. So, say we won this with our 1 company of 4. We have 60 resources to our name, which would be enough to recruit a new basic tier company, but not prop anyone up in it. What will we end up with next over here? So, again, reminder, 2-star difficulty. We've got our delicious lung bursters up there, and we have war buggies out here. We actually have some units over here defending this point. I remember that difficult terrain down there. Yeah, okay. This was in the before times. Before I knew there was an orc rubber band at play here in the game. Where does this go with 3 stars? Oops, loaded the wrong save. This will be the final one of these early game things I do. I then want to check out some mid-game stuff. Maybe at the capital, maybe like the Arns factory, maybe where we fought our first Gargant. Oh no, I would like to keep this under an hour. Okay. So, another example where the AI certainly has their floor, and I imagine if I had recruited more units to eclipse that, then the AI would accelerate there too. But I can't say that for certain. That's just a guess. Lungburstas, plenty of war buggies, more Lungburstas. Do they have any air units? As it stands, this company would have some real work ahead of it, breaking through all these Lungburstas, plus the war buggies. But yeah, I want to get a sense of nice what situation I may have been in had I adjusted the difficulty to 3 stars. Good reaction fire, guys. Good shoots. Yeah, this has been pleasant. Not having to control and attack things, just letting my units take attacks, opportunity fire. Makes turns go quicker. Also looks like these orcs are rolling out. Here to exert some pressure on me. Okay. We got a good amount of killing done that turn. And no air units. That's just neighboring region. Whew. That is vicious. And there's no telling, like, whether the orcs would have those air units purchased there all the time. Okay, so 11 is when I flip my shit, such as it was. Where are we in this reality? Episode 15. Okay. Here's where I'd just taken the capital. And I recognized this place, this region, was like, hey, flyers might still be there. I'm like, okay, that's a good call out. Flyers are going to be there. But this region sounds pretty prominent. Tank factories from falling to the orcs? Let's go get some tank factories. And it puts, like, this regiment and then, like, the Volistad Iron Lords regiment, like, out of position for the rest of the campaign. Though I did end up transferring those units. Let's take a look at this. Oh yes, the first map again. And we're fairly close on morale score. Okay. BANEBLADE! Got our cannon speeds lurking around, particularly at that fun hill. Ready to shoot my commissar. Okay. Let's load in episode 15. We'll select that. I'll put that at 3 stars.
Sir.
Commissar.
A score of 1200. Okay. Still got cannon speedsters lurking around, gobsmash. Let's see whether there's any air units here. Or Weird Boy Tower. If there aren't any air units here, though, this was right around the time I wanted to buy anti-air. I didn't actually check the army composition to see whether I did that.
Commissar.
Bombards, more bombards, the chimeras. Okay. I was in conversation about it. I know I was... Yeah, I was on this map, but I don't know whether it was this mission, and I had the Hydras out for the first time. Well, if there's any anti-air, they didn't deploy them that turn. We've got rocket speedsters, we have cannon speedsters. This seems doable for this and this army composition. It's gonna take some work, though, losing 50 morale per turn. With all the cannon and rocket speedsters around, particularly if they actually push in. Okay, we'll have one more turn pass. And there's obviously more of this poking and prodding that could be done. This hour went by pretty quick for me. I've enjoyed this. I haven't spent a long time with any one of these missions. It's been enough to get a taste of what difficulty 3 would have been like. As well as what difficulty 1 would have been like. Starting off with it, ending with it. How the orc counterattacks looked with it. And my takeaway is, like, the in-game stuff, The early game stuff, The mid-game stuff, provided you're in a decent enough condition. This alternate reality is gonna have fun with all those bow burners right there, let me tell you. This was happening, though, in the official history. We had the BANEBLADE over here. Good times. And yeah, I did have the Hydras. They were green. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's more I feel like I could do here to just poke and prod at missions. But I got a taste of this. Enough to draw, enough to surmise, as I wanted, how this campaign could have been different. And that's also not, calculating what position I would be in as far as some sort of timetable with the strategic map due to me needing to take more turns to take this territory, and whether, the actual counterattacks would be ramping up more than the score I saw, which was not enough to sincerely defeat this army, but enough to cause casualties, for sure, without me playing well. Which I did do at times. 0 casualty runs. That biggest fucker, though. Air units right there. I'm a level with you. I probably would have loaded the fucking game. I've been like, okay, we learned. Understood. I have gained valuable intel. The game has taught me something. That's I thought I was taking risks while playing the campaign. Yeah, we're just pushing out with this stuff. Just want to see and explore the game. And, that lesson there of those air units would have definitely taught me something about the exploration. Maybe we go north. Maybe we go north. Okay. But as for, the performance of, the orcs themselves, how orky they would end up still being, I don't think the orcs become more orky just by a 3rd star. That element remains in play. And the design of the missions themselves, which I want to get more into for my final thoughts. All in all, though, mixed bag. Early game? Fuck. Late game? Mid game? Yeah, big with the ceilings and floor there still established. Particularly demonstrated in that final mission where, 3 stars still had just 2,800 score and was going to be no match for the army I brought in. Anyway, I enjoyed this. And again, the time passed really quick for me here. Final Liberation has brought me amusement and even joy in avenues I had not anticipated. It's been a ride. Well, see you in another bonus video.